Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a WordPress website. WordPress is a great tool that allows you to easily set up a website. We should be done in about 30 minutes. And basically it provides a great way to get your portfolio up and running quickly. Now, WordPress is a free tool. It does have paid options, but you can get away with just keeping a free account for this particular subject. The paid options, we can run through them later. They just kind of give you extra access to features and also the ability to create a custom domain or have a custom domain connected to it. Now, you can go ahead and set up WordPress on your own server if you'd like, or you could use another tool, but I recommend using WordPress.com, especially if you've never kind of set up a website before, because it's a great starting point for creating your portfolio. Okay, so where to start with your portfolio? So we can jump into WordPress, but probably a better place to start is to think about other portfolios that you like and the kind of content that you want to see on your WordPress portfolio. So a good place to start is to jump into a search engine and have a look at some other portfolios out there. So just a quick Google search for game designer portfolios comes up with a range of different portfolios. And in these portfolios, it's good to look at the particular layout that they have and what kind of pages they have. So if we go to this one here, David Shaver, he is a game designer at Naughty Dog in Los Angeles, and we can see he's kind of got a homepage, a couple of clear projects that he's worked on, some big ones that may be recognizable, a link for personal projects. He obviously does some speaking on the side, and then a link to his resume, bio, and contact. And here there's a clear link to downloading those particular elements there, and a link to his LinkedIn page. We have an image, we have a bit of a bio, we have contact details. So it's a good layout for this particular bio, and it provides nice and easy access to the key things. Let's have a look at another one. So this one's a bit different. It's a bit more artsy, I guess, in the way that it's set out. But this is for a game and level designer. We have to look a bit deeper to see his name. So Jay, and he's got a bit of a bio here. He's highlighted what he does: game design, level design, scripting, and visual effects. And then down here, he's got the games he has worked on. So we can go and scroll through those to see it. I like the way that he's embedded video into it. This particular portfolio provided a brief overview of what he's done, and also has provided more links to downloading the actual game and watching the trailer. So this is nice. I like the video elements of it. It's a bit difficult to scroll. I wonder what it looks like on a mobile. It may look a bit different, but that's Jay's there. And let's have a look at one more. This one here. So this is a nice, simple one. This is Michael Lavelle's. He has his projects and his experience up first. That's his main page. Then has a writing portfolio, a resume, and about me. So there's probably a couple of links missing here. It would be good to have a contact page, so it's easy to get in touch with him. But that could be in the about me page. We can jump in and have a look. Yeah, there we go. But it'd be nice to have a form or something else like this. So these are good starting points to start thinking about what the layout of your WordPress website or portfolio should look like, and the content that you want in it as well. Okay, so with that all done, we've done our research. Let's say we've identified that we want the following pages. We want a home page, and on that we want a brief bio about who we are, and a link to different projects. Then we want probably some individual project pages so we can drill down and look at specific project details, a blog, a resume, and a contact form. So we'll stick to those particular pages. Right, so to get started, jump onto WordPress.com and click the Get Started button. From here, you can sign up for a WordPress website account. So just enter your email address. I'm just going to create a fake one for this one, IGB400 folio, gmail.com. And choose a password. Great. So it starts by asking a few questions, and this is just a useful way to set up the website initially for us. So for us, we're interested in showcasing our portfolio and work, so we're going to click Professional. We're going to then enter our job title, so I'm going to enter Game Designer, and I think it's quite amusing it comes up with Professional Gamer first, but let's go ahead and enter Game Design. Click that, and you can see it started to customize our website already to help us get started. So I've hit Game Designer, hit Continue, and then I'm going to put in my name. So because there's a portfolio about me, I want my name to appear at the top. So I enter Zach Fitz-Walter, I hit Continue, and then we've got a chance to choose a style. There's a couple of different styles available. You can change the theme later on, but basically just have a look at these 4 and pick one that you like. You can follow along with me if you like. I'm going to click the sophisticated link because it's got a black background and makes the images kind of pop off the screen, which looks pretty good. So I've picked that particular style. I'm going to hit Continue. And then we're going to give our site an address. So for this one, I'm just going to enter, what have we got? Zach Fitz-Walter, IGB400 folio. You could just have your name, for example, as a good starting point. And here it gives us a number of options. Now, it looks like these are kind of all paid options, but there is one free option that you can use to begin with. And this is a .wordpress.com URL. So I'm going to select this free option. If you wanted, you can have a look at other URLs there, if you'd like to just have something like yourname.com. But for the purposes of this particular demonstration, we're going to click the free one. It then comes up with a particular plan. So they've got a range of different plans ranging from $4 per month, a blogger plan, all the way to an e-commerce plan where it provides functionality for selling things online. We just want to start with a free site to begin with. So just up the top there, it says not sure yet, start with a free site. So let's click that. Now, this will set up the website for us. So WordPress is what's known as a CMS, or a content management system. And what this means is that it has a front end that anyone can see, the public side of your website, and it's got a back end as well. And the back end you can only access if you have your account details or you've been given permission to access it. And in the back end, that's where you can change anything. So any of the content, you can change the design, the copy, the pages, the blog posts, add new things, delete things, edit things. And those changes are then reflected on your front end of the WordPress website. So in here, we can see our site has now been created, which is great. We're in the back end of the website. If we wanted to jump in and have a look at our website straight away, we can just by clicking up in the top left-hand corner here. I'm going to click this, my name basically, or where it says View, Zach Fitz-Walter. So jump into that, and it will load my website now that it's set up for me automatically in this kind of frame. So I've still got the options around it. Now the nice thing about it is you can see it's kind of all set up already, which is great. We have some blocks put in there for us already, which we can just jump in and edit. It makes it quite easy to get started. Now I'm just going to point out that up the top left-hand corner here, you can see where it says desktop. There's a drop-down menu. If you click that, you can actually view what your website looks like on different devices as well, which is a useful feature because these days a lot of people will view websites on mobile devices, and so it's nice to be able to jump in and check out what your website looks like on a mobile device. So here we can see, oh yeah, it looks pretty good. It's customized, or it's managed to squish it down quite nicely so it looks good on a phone. We can have a look at it on a tablet as well, and then of course jump back to desktop because that's going to be easiest to work in. Okay, so we've signed up, we've set up. We do need to verify our email address before we can actually start editing things or publishing things. So I'm just going to jump in now. I've received an update from WordPress in my email, and I'm going to confirm that now. So you can't see it, it's just off screen, but I've jumped into my email. Maybe look in junk mail if you can't see it, but you should have an activation email from WordPress. Click that and activate your account. Once you've done that, I'm just going to refresh the page. So now that should be activated. Okay, excellent. So we've activated and verified our email address. We've viewed our website. What we want to do now is actually start editing the content on our website. So I'd like to start with this page first. This is the home page. As you can see, it's added some kind of default, some blank text or some text which is in there that we can edit it. So we don't want to obviously keep this text. We want to jump in and start changing it to reflect who we are and our portfolio. So to do that, we've got this menu on the side here. So there's 4 main parts to it. There's site. So So if we click that, this houses basically the content for our WordPress website. So in here we can see the different pages on our website, we can see different blog posts, we can upload media such as images, documents, and we can see any comments as well that people have provided on our website. We'll look at turning this feature off soon, but just know that this site kind of area of the menu here is basically where the content is housed. Then we've got the design menu item, and in here we can go in and we can customize what our design looks like, and we can choose a different theme if we'd like. We've then got tools, and to be honest, you probably won't go into this much at all. We have plugins. These provide extra functionality for our website, but for these you do need to have a paid plan. The last one then is manage, and here you can manage the domains that are connected to your portfolio, you can manage the people who have access to it, and you can jump in and change some of the settings. Let's do that now. Let's jump in and change some of the settings. So for this, I'm going to go to manage, I'm going to click settings, and in here I'm going to add a site tagline. And for this I just want to basically explain what I am, so to help people know when they visit my website for the first time who exactly I am. So I'm going to put in here game designer. So we've got the site title, my name, site tagline, game designer, and I'm going to hit save. And that automatically saves it for us. So I'm also going to update the time zone just because it's set to UTC +0 and I want to change it to Brisbane time, and this just helps with when we choose to post pages and blog posts. If we choose to post them in the future, then we have it set to the right time zone. Down here you can also hide your website until you're ready to have it shown, which is a useful feature as well. But I'm going to keep it public for the time being because I'm happy to have it up and running. Okay, I'm just going to hit save settings now. The other area I want to go into here is I just want to jump into discussion quickly. And this third one down, I'm going to turn off the ability to allow people to post comments on new articles. Because we're going to be adding a few new articles, I want to do this now before we add anything new. And the reason for this is just basically it's a portfolio website. I don't want people commenting on my website, and it just really doesn't make sense. So I'm going to turn those off for the time being. So it automatically saves it. You can also click Save Settings as well just to make sure. Great, so we've updated those particular settings. Let's jump back into the Site menu now, and we're going to click the Pages button. And in here we can see we currently have one page, and that is the home page. It was created 6 minutes ago, and it is the front page. What that means is it's going to be the first page that people see when they come to our website or enter our website URL. Okay, obviously this has template information in it, so I'm going to hit the toggle button here on the right. I'm going to click the edit page, and I'm going to start editing some of that information. So that should load the home page up for us in the editor. And so here we can see basically this is the editor view. So in here we can start changing the content of our website. The nice thing is it's a WYSIWYG editor, which means you don't have to do any coding. What you see is what you get, so you can kind of edit it directly. And WordPress uses this thing called blocks basically. So you can add blocks. A block may be something like a paragraph, maybe an image, maybe a heading, a quote. There's a bunch of different blocks that are available there. And these are the ways in which you add content to your website. So we've got a couple of blocks already set up for us. We've got a title block here, we've got a header block here, we've got a gallery block here, which has some gallery images, and then some other kind of paragraph blocks here. There's a range of different stuff. Now there's too much on here for my liking, so I'm going to cut this right back. First of all, I'm going to change home to my name, Zach Fitz-Walter. I'm going to update this. Hi. Check out my, so we'll put some information about who we actually are so people know when they visit this website. I'm a game designer based in Brisbane, Australia. Check out my work below. Check out my work and get in touch below. I'm going to get rid of the contact below, so I'm just going to say, check out my work below. Now you can add anything you want in here. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, so the first time someone visits this website, they're going to be like, right, this is the name of the person, this is what they are, where they're based, and then straight into some of my featured works. So we've got these spacer blocks added here. There's quite a bit of space. I guess we could look at deleting one of them. So Spacer block basically just adds space in between different block elements. So I could drag the space out if I wanted more space, or make it smaller. For the time being, I'm going to actually just jump in, click these three dots again, and remove that block, because I think it's too much space. Okay, so I've got featured works here. I'm going to change that to featured projects, so things that I've worked on. And then I'm going to go down here to the gallery. So this is where I want to feature some of my projects that I've worked on. You can see it's automatically added 3 images in there for us. We can jump in, we can replace those images, or we can delete them by pressing the X. We can upload new images here as well, and that will add it to the gallery. And we can also rearrange these images by clicking these little arrow buttons here. So I can move that one to the left, or I can move it back to the center, move it back to the right. Now this is a full width gallery here. I could just make it so it is smaller if I wanted by clicking these different display options here. So we've got one which just keeps it aligned in the center. We've got something which keeps it aligned over to the right. That looks terrible. We've got something to make it go back into the width of the page, and then we've also got the option to make it full width. Let's keep it full width. Full width looks great, and it will adjust automatically depending on the width of the page. So we could jump in, we could hit the upload button, and we could grab some kind of image of our game, and we could upload that to the gallery. We could also jump into our media library as well. And this allows us to add multiple things in there, and we can then link that, or link multiple images at once. So I could go through, click to add a bunch of them, and then insert them into the gallery, which just saves a bit of time. So pretend I've uploaded these 3 images here. They're screenshots of my game. Now I want basically to provide a caption of what these games are. So I'm going to call this the very original game, game number 1, game number 2, and game number 3. Now we'll come back and link these particular words, these words here, or the titles of the games, to individual project pages, but we haven't created those project pages yet, so we're just going to leave it at that. So that's basically those elements done. We'll scroll down. We could add a little bit of information about maybe our skills here. So I'm going to change this section to talk about skills. I might want to add some information here, but maybe I've worked in Unity 3D, and I could provide some information about my experience of Unity 3D. So used it for 3 years. Worked on different projects, blah, 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 etc. We could say I've worked on iOS development, iOS games, provide some information there, and I'm really good at level design, and I can talk about that there. So look, you can add these sections. These are just columns here, and you can provide some more information if you'd like. Now there's an About Me section here, which is maybe useful. We could add an image of ourselves here and provide a brief bio of what we've done. But I'm actually going to create an About Me page, or a contact page. No, I'll have a resume page, which will provide information about me. I've provided an initial overview of who I am and what I do up here. So for this, I'm actually just going to delete this particular block here. So I'm going to click that 3 dots and remove that block. I'll have to remove this header block as well. I'm going to remove this spacer block. Ooh, there's a lot of spaces. Okay, I'm going to remove this one too. And I'm going to remove this one too. Now we have a clients block that they've added here as well. I'm going to remove this. It's unnecessary at the moment. I'm more interested in showcasing the projects I've worked on. If I had worked, or maybe if I've consulted with different clients, if I'm a consultant, then I would probably add those in there to make me look a bit more legitimate, just to show that I've had experience working with particular clients. I'm going to remove that. Let's remove this one here. Remove this one here. Actually, I'm getting bored of removing all those spaces. You can do all the rest, but then we have a contact area down here. I'm going to create a separate contact page as well. So I'm actually going to remove these particular blocks too. So this whole block, this is a group, so I'm going to remove that block completely. And finally, this one here too. Now I'll let you go ahead and remove those other blocks. There's a couple of lines, separators, things like that have been added there. But for the time being, that looks like a pretty good homepage. So I'm going to hit the update button, top right here. That updates the page. And now if I go back, so click the back button in the top left-hand corner, we'll go back, we'll view the pages, and then again I can click this link here to view what my website currently looks like. Okay, that's looking much better. We've got rid of the default text that they provided, and we've started editing and adding our own information. Now you'll notice there's an edit button down at the bottom here that will only appear if you're logged in. It won't appear to other people, so no one can just come in and edit it. We've got our tagline here in the top right-hand corner, game designer. We've got our title up there, and this is also a link that will link people back to our homepage. Great, that's a pretty good start. Now, I guess I want to probably add a few more pages to my portfolio. There's a couple of things missing. So I removed that contact page, or the ability to contact me, down here, and I want to actually create a separate contact page. So for this, I jump back into the Pages section in the menu on the left-hand side here, and I'm going to click the Add New Page button. Now, another feature I really like about WordPress is that it gives you templates, so you don't have to start from scratch every time you add a new page. So we're going to have a look here at some of the templates that it provides for the different pages, and we're going to pick the most appropriate ones. So there's a range of different ones here. We'll try a couple of these, but for now I want you to click the contact template. So I'm going to click the contact template, and bam, look at that. It gives us an automatic contact page set up. Obviously we have to jump in and edit this information to make sure that it works for us. Yeah, I'll keep the emoji, that's kind of fun. It makes me look like I'm fun, I guess. And I'm going to, instead of having this left aligned, have it center aligned. So it's aligned underneath the contact header, which is also centered. I'm going to keep that as contact. In terms of get in touch, I might provide some different information here. You can choose to provide your address, you can choose to provide your email address, you can choose to provide your phone number as well. And then on the right hand side, this is a form block, and what this does is it won't look like this, but it will basically allow people to get in touch with you. You'll want to enter your email address here. So if I just add an email address in here, and the subject line, I can say that this is a portfolio submission, contact page submission. So I'm going to say portfolio contact page submission. And so I'm just going to click the add form button there. Great. So what that does is it just tells me which email address I'd like any of these messages sent through that people post, and also what email subject line I would like to have. So whenever I get a new email from someone who sent me a message via this contact page, it will come through with that email subject line. Great. Let's have a look at what it's asking for. So it's asking for someone's name, someone's email, and a message and a website. I'm going to remove website because I don't think that's really relevant. So I'm going to remove that block, and now I'm just left with name, email address, and message. That looks good. So that's probably enough. We could add another one in, I guess. We could look at adding telephone number, just in case it's easier to call someone. So I'm just going to rearrange that there. So I'm going to add telephone just by clicking that plus button, and then I can rearrange it by grabbing these 6 dots here and just moving it around. So I'm just going to put it under email address. I could make it required, but I'm not going to make it required. I'm just going to keep it optional. Great, look at that. We got our contact page. That was really easy. So we'll have to make sure to click the publish button, and we'll have to click it twice. So yes, I'm ready to make it public, and I want to publish it immediately. You do have the option to publish it in the future, or to make it private for the time being, or password protected. But obviously it's a contact page, we want to get it up there so people can get in touch, so I'm going to hit the publish page again. Great. It gives us a page address for that. I'm just going to close that, go back to our main dashboard again, and we can see we've got that contact page there now that has been made for us. If I click this button again, view Zach Fitz-Walter, here's my home page, but how do I get to my contact page? Well, I guess I could go to the link that it provided earlier, but what I'm really looking for is some kind of menu so I can navigate to it. So that's kind of missing now at the moment. So let's focus on that next. So we've got the contact page in there. We want people to be able to access it. We're going to need a menu. So how do we add a menu? Well, to do it, we have to jump into the design section of the menu on the left. So if you click the design drop-down button, and the menus are hidden under the customize section. So if I click customize, it will bring up the customizer for our website, and we've got a range of different options here. So we can basically change things like colors, we can add widgets, we can add other things here, custom CSS. The main thing we want though is to jump into the menus button here because we want to add a menu. So currently we've got one menu set up for us already. It is the primary menu. So in here we can see, okay, great, there is a page that's already added to the primary menu. But I want to add the contact page that we just created. So I'm going to click the Add Items button, and then I'm going to click the Contact page. And now you can see that has added that particular page to my primary menu. The other thing I need to make sure I do is that the menu isn't actually visible yet on our website. So I need to make sure that we've set up the menu location, so where we'd like this primary menu to appear. So I'm going to click Primary here, and as you can see, that automatically updates it to add in those particular links there. Now it's a bit weird having my name as a link, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the drop down, and I'm going to change the navigation label to Home. So that is just changing the initial item that it gave me in there. I'm going to change that to Home, so it appears as Home in my menu. Right, so you should have a menu now that's been added. We could add it to other areas, so we could also add it to the footer. So if we scroll down, we then have that menu appear in our footer as well. You can see Home here and Contact here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn that off. I'm just going to keep it in the primary position now. And we have this great menu. So now we can actually click these things, these menu items, in order to go to that particular page. Okay, that's looking great. Okay, so that's done now. Hit the Publish button, and that will save our changes. And then we can close this section down and go back to our dashboard. Okay, so we've got two new pages, or we've got two pages now on our website. We've got our home page, we've got our contact page, and we have a menu set up to be able to move between them. Okay, well at this time we can check out what it looks like again on phone just to make sure that menu that we've added looks good. It does, so it's not blocking any particular part of our website. The tagline's still there, quite visible. The navigation looks good. Let's go back, look at it desktop. So what can we add next? Well, let's have a look at our homepage. We have our featured projects section. And so we should probably, although this is good, we've got maybe a screenshot of our project, it'd be good to provide more information about these specific projects that we've worked on. So let's go ahead and create a new page. So we'll jump into the Site menu again, and we'll click the Pages button. And I'm going to basically repeat just what I did there. Before, we're going to click Add New Page. This time though, I'm going to click a different template. So I'm going to click the Portfolio template here. And this is just because it provides us with a template where we can add more information that makes sense for a particular project. Okay, so we have the portfolio page set up for us. I'm going to change this to the title of the project. So for this, it's game number 1, but you would change it to the particular project you've worked on. I might provide a bit of information about this project. So this was an AR, VR game. Delivered, published on the App Store. Published on the App Store. I could then change some information, so I could put screenshots here. I could update those screenshots or add new screenshots to it, simply the same way by hitting the Upload button or going into the Media Library. I can then provide a more detailed description of the project here. I could add a video, a trailer here. So this is just an embedded YouTube video. And then underneath this, you can see it's also added a text here. So some more information. So this is a very big block. I'm going to get rid of actually this one here because we've got a description of the project here already. So that's just duplicating it, so I'm going to delete that block. And then it's provided us with a new block that we haven't seen before. This is a button block here. So what we've got is, it says let's build something together, and then it says get in touch. Now it's added this button for us automatically, but this button doesn't actually link to anywhere. So we need to add a link if we want to keep this button so people can actually click it and it will take us somewhere. So for this, it's a get in touch button, so obviously we want it to go to our contact page. So I'm going to click the text area that appears under the button here. Now it puts a hashtag in there. I'm just going to delete that, and I'm just going to start searching for the contact page that we created. Okay, great. The contact page comes up, I can click that, and it automatically provides the link to the contact page, which is great. Okay, so that's a good starting point for the project. I'm going to hit the publish button, and I'm going to hit the publish button again. And we now have our first game project added to our WordPress website. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to the home page now again. So I'm just going to click the view page in the top left hand corner here. And I probably want to now link, so this is the Game 1 featured project image that we have here. I want to actually link this particular item so that when I click on the Game 1 text, it takes me to that page. I don't want to have it in my menu because I may have a lot of different projects. I may have 10, I may have 15, 20 different projects here that I want to highlight. And that would add too many items to the menu. So instead, what I'm going to do is provide a link from the featured project section on the home page. So jump back into the pages section. We're going to now edit the page. So here we have, this is the front page here, Zach Fitz-Walter. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to click edit. So we'll jump back into the home page, which we already edited previously. And we're just going to change this particular element here. So this is a gallery that's set up. Currently these gallery images are linked to nothing, which is great. But what we want to actually do is we want to link this text here. So to do that, I'm going to basically highlight the text. So game number 1. I'm going to click the link button, and I'm going to search for that page, game number 1. So there it is there. I'm going to click that, hit the enter button, and that has now provided us with a link. So I'm going to click the update button in the top right hand corner. That's updated. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. I'm going to view my website again, and I'm going to try that link. So here we've got game number 1. I'm going to click that, and it takes us to that game number 1 project page that we created. So you can repeat that process, creating new project pages, editing the information, and then linking it to your gallery, or linking the gallery, the featured projects gallery, to your individual project pages. You can have as many project elements here in your gallery, so it's not just limited to 3. You can have more that appear underneath it as well. So go wild and add the individual project pages. Okay, now I want to add a little bit of a different page. I want to add a blog page now, so I could start blogging, so adding reflections, adding interesting notes that I've found, and just discussing interesting game design things. So for this, I'm going to go back into the pages area again. I'm going to add a new page, and this time I'm going to click the blog template. Now the blog template is a little bit different, as you'll see when I click it. So blog is down here in the bottom left hand corner. Okay, wow. So it adds this template here, and it gives us this huge text, welcome to my new business blog. That's great, but it's a bit overwhelming. So I'm just going to delete that section. So let's remove that block. Excellent. Okay, nice. This looks good. So I've just got my blog, and I've got this section here, which says your recent blog posts will be displayed here. So what this means is that to add a new blog post, we don't actually do it on the blog page. We actually have to add the individual blog posts separately. I will show you how to do this in a second, but just know now that we have set up a blog page, we can choose how many posts to show here. So it will then add pages. So it will show, for example, if I choose 3, it will show the 3 latest blog posts, and then you have to click the next button. Unless we have infinite scrolling set up, but that's a different thing. Great, so that's our blog page set up. So I'm just going to hit the publish button. I'm going to hit publish again. And now to actually add a blog post in here, I go back to my dashboard, and you can see underneath the pages link, it's got a posts link here. So if I click this posts link, this is where I actually add blog posts. And as soon as I add a new blog post and publish it, it will appear on that blog page automatically. So let's go ahead and try adding a new post. So this post I want you to add is going to be based off the first workshop that we had in week 2. And for it, I want you to call it add or skills I want to work on. And here you can just go in and start discussing the particular skills that you found that are needed in particular job posts that you saw. So I found 3 jobs, the skills in them that I want to work on include ... and then you can go ahead and just basically add more information. So I want to work on VR, I'd like to work on augmented reality, AR, and whatever else you want here. So once I've added the blog post, I then hit the publish button, hit publish again, and then bam, it's done. So that will then publish that post, and it will put it automatically in the blog page. So obviously let's go back to the view our page again. We don't have the blog in our menu, so we need to go ahead and do that. So jump into design, jump into customize, and then in here jump into menus, click primary, and then add that new blog item. Great. So we can actually change, so we can drag the blog to go up and be the second element there. So I have the contact menu button last. I'm going to hit publish. I'm going to close that once that's finished publishing. Okay, that's done. Close that, and then view the website again. So now we've got the blog button here. If I click the blog button, it will come up with my blog posts. So we've only got one blog post in there currently, but then I could click that particular blog post and it would take me to that blog post that I added. Great, so you can go wild, add as many blog posts as you want, and they will appear in that blog page. So the last page I want to add, we've got home, we've got blog, we've got contact. I want to add actually a resume page. So I want people to be able to jump in and download my resume. For this, I'm going to create again a new page. So jump into pages. Actually, no, before we do that, we should probably upload our resume. So to do that, under again the site menu here, the third item down is called media. And media here is basically where we can add new things to be displayed on our website. So we can see we've got images, we've got videos, we've got audio. Documents is the one that I want to add. I just want to grab a a resume. So here's a resume I've got in a PDF version. I want to drag it in and upload it. So once that's uploaded, I actually want to jump in and grab the link for it, because it's WordPress, it's hard to find links to actual media files to embed in our web page. So to make it easy, I'm just going to grab the link directly from this particular element. So to do that, I'm just going to highlight this particular resume. I'm going to click the edit button, and then down here on the right hand side you can see it says URL. I'm going to click copy. So I copy that URL, I'll hit done, and then I'm going to jump into the pages section, and I'm going to add a new page, and this is going to be the resume page. Now, the resume page I'm going to add as an about page here. So I think, yeah, let's go with about page. I'm going to click about. So we'll call this resume. We may provide a little bit more information about us here, so maybe a brief bio about us. And then I'm going to add a new block, so I'm going to add a new button. So find a space where you think a button would look good, hit the plus or add block button, and then do a search for button. And the one that we want is this layout element button here, so it adds a nice big button. I'm going to click download resume. I'm going to add the text download resume to the button. I'm then going to center that button so it's in the middle. And then I'm going to add a link. So I'm going to paste that URL that I just copied from my media section, from the resume itself, hit the enter button, and now that is linked to that resume. You can delete these other aspects here or these other elements here, but otherwise I'm going to hit publish for the time being, publish that, and that should be done. Now, of course, we need to add it again to our menu, so I'm going to go back to customize, and I'm just going to jump in and add that particular item to our menu. So click menus again, click primary, and I'm going to add that item. So I'm going to add resume. I'm going to just put it there above contact again and hit the publish button. Great. I'm going to close that. Click this to view my website again, and check that out. We have the basic elements of a portfolio website done. So we've got our home page, we've got a blog with blog posts that we can keep adding, we've got a contact page where people can get in touch with us if they want to hire us, and then we've got a resume page where we can go ahead and download our resume. That's it for now. Feel free to play around, edit, add things, do some of your own research. You can do other things, just a few things, so you can jump in and check out some themes that are available, so you can change themes. Some of them are free. So for example, there's a couple of beginner ones here. I think it's like 287. If I click this one here, I could jump in and activate this design for free. It may change a couple of the layout aspects of my portfolio that I've already set up, so I may have to change those things. But yeah, look, there's different themes out there, so you can make yours look a little bit different. So the other thing that's worth knowing is you can also see stats of people who have visited your website as well. So as soon as your website's up and running, it's being shared, people are looking at it, you can see how many new visitors you have and what they're looking at as well, which can be useful to see what people like on your website or what they're missing out on. Great, that's it for now. Go ahead and get set up with WordPress this week, and then bring your portfolio in for next week in the class.